So hello there guys, and welcome to Shifting Gears. And right now I'm going to do a 30 to 40 kilometer commute to my house. I am right now at the beautiful Palm Beach Road in Navi Mumbai, and I am riding home on this Royal Enfield Meteor 350. This is their latest product now in 2020. This is their most advanced product, you might say, because this gets the new tripper console, which is turn-by-turn navigation. No other motorcycle from the Royal Enfield showroom currently comes out with this particular feature. लेकिन of course ये और भी motorcycles में introduce होने वाला है. And as I mentioned in this video, I am going to talk about this bike and riding it inside the city. Now you already know the specifications. An all-new air oil-cooled single-cylinder motor. It produces 20.2 HP of power and 27 Newton meters of torque, and it has a 5-speed gearbox, which is pretty slick as per Royal Enfield standards. So what you are going to like instantly once you start riding this Meteor 350 is the torque. There is just so much torque from this motor that riding it inside city is a breeze, is a charm. The typical long stroke nature of this motorcycle, the typical laid back nature of this motorcycle, you are really going to like it, because it just makes your ride that much effortless. तो आपको ज़्यादा throttle input देने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Just gently twist the throttle and you can just keep munching miles inside the city without any problem, and it will stay very happy at higher gears in lower revs as well. So that is also something that is, going to complement your in-city rideability. Now the first thing that I wish was better with this Meteor 350 is the clutch. आपको slip and assist clutch नहीं मिलता है with this motorcycle, which I think is a miss for this price. And also ये जो clutch lever है, the clutch operation is slightly on the firmer side. तो जब आप city traffic में ये clutch इस्तेमाल करते हो, if you are going to encounter a lot of traffic, your fingers will, beg for a break, because it just makes you put in that much effort to operate and slip that. Also, one more point with this clutch action, जब आप left turn ले रहे हो, no problem at all. But when you are making a full lock right turn, the clutch slip, changes. That is because the clutch cable internally twists a little, and then you have to modulate the clutch accordingly. So that is one finer detail which you have to keep in mind and ride accordingly. Now this Meteor 350, check it out. I am riding it inside the city. I am under 60 kilometers per hour. I am in 5th gear and I am just effortlessly munching miles. The engine is supremely comfortable. It feels so refined. It is a shock that this is a time when you can call the Royal Enfield engine a refined motor. It is just that smooth, and I really like the amount of improvements Royal Enfield has made with this all new engine. अब classic 350 में भी आपको BS6 compliant petrol engine मिल रही है, but that engine is different to this. That is the old motor which has been made BS6 compliant. This is an all new motor developed grounds up, and of course this is BS6 compliant, and this motor is probably the brand's best effort yet. Now in terms of technological advancement, इस बाइक में आपको कोई ऑयल कूलर नहीं मिल रहा है. You just get an air oil cooled system. तो इस engine के head में आपको oil cooling दिया गया है, which is going to help the overall cooling efficiency of this motorcycle. Right now, check it out. I am at a typical halt at a red light inside city limits. At neutral, when I am at a standstill, I do not feel a lot of buzz on this motorcycle. Vibrations जो हैं वो काफ़ी well controlled हैं. There is just that typical long stroke nature that you feel on the foot peg, but the vibration is not uncomfortable. और ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको वो buzz बहुत ज़्यादा फील होता है on the fork. पहले जो आपको tuning fork effect फील होता था on the front forks and on the handlebar, आपको वो movement अभी इस Meteor 350 पे देखने नहीं मिलेगी. So you will appreciate the NVH enhancement on this motorcycle. And at a standstill, even on the seat, no vibration at all. And just check out the mirrors. Mirrors भी vibrate नहीं हो रहे हैं. These mirrors are an optional accessory, by the way. And when you want to zip across through traffic, this Royal Enfield Meteor 350 has a lot of go. Check it out. I'm already approaching 100 kilometers per hour. And what else do you need inside city speeds, inside city limits? The bike is fast enough as per heavy cruiser motorcycle standards. The bike is fast enough as per रॉयल एनफील्ड मोटरसाइकिल स्टैंडर्ड्स. पुराने क्लासिक 350 के 350cc इंजन के कंपैरिजन में ये मीटियोर 350 का जो मोटर है, it is much faster and you will notice a difference and you will sprint to 100 kilometers per hour way faster than the older generation 350s do. So that is also something that is a positive for this motorcycle. But for the high speed abilities and for the highway ride, we have uploaded a separate video, so do check that out. इस वीडियो में हम इसके city rideability की ही बात करेंगे. Right now I am again at a standstill and check this out. Once I slotted in first gear, मैं सिर्फ clutch slip कर रहा हूँ. I am not giving it throttle input. It crawls very nicely in bumper to bumper traffic और ज़्यादा jerky भी नहीं है इसका clutch release mechanism. So you will like that, and as soon as the signal goes green, you can simply blast past the traffic. And I mean, this bike will paste a smile across your face, not because it can go fast, because when you are just casually riding, this bike is just so impressive. And check this out, even on wet roads, on wet pieces of tarmac, the tires also offer you fantastic grip. Seat के tires मिल रहे हैं आपको. Some motorcycles can also be rolled out with MRF tires, लेकिन tires में आपको कोई भी कमी महसूस नहीं होने वाली है. The tires offered me very good grip at high speeds when I was riding it on the highway. और सिटी में तो obviously मुझे कोई भी दिक्कत फील नहीं हुई है. Another thing are the brakes. इसका जो front brake है, it might not really feel all that accurate when you want to put the anchors down. The brake bias is more rearward focused. तो rear brake की बाइट जो है वो काफ़ी बढ़िया है फ्रंट ब्रेक के कंपैरिजन में. और अगर आप ये बाइक खरीद लेते हो, मे बी इन अ वीक और टू यू विल गेट यूज्ड टू द फ्रंट ब्रेक बाइट and how to slow down your motorcycle. But still, the brake bias is maybe close to 65-35 rear to front. That is the amount of bite difference that you can feel. Dual channel ABS आपको दिया गया है for safety, and the ABS system is also non-intrusive. आप काफ़ी confidently brakes का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो. You can slam the brakes and the bike will come to a halt very nicely without any tantrums, and it will maintain a straight line as well. जब आप ये बाइक सिटी स्पीड्स पे चला रहे हो, द गुड थिंग अबाउट दिस रॉयल एनफील्ड मीटियोर 350 is the tractability because of the availability of very good torque lower down in the rev range. So check this out. I am at city speeds going down up to 40 kilometers per hour. I am in 5th gear. Check this out. No clutch. The bike is easily riding and chugging along. बिल्कुल भी knocking मुझे feel नहीं हो रही है from the engine. And as soon as I open the gas, check this out, no slipping the clutch at all. It start picking up very good pace, and you can make your way through traffic. And because of this, even though the clutch action is on the heavier side, the bike will demand fewer upshifts and downshifts because of traffic, and hence you will be able to make around that heavy operation clutch lever. But the tractability is 100% good. It is a typical Royal Enfield, fantastic torque, and you will like it. The next point I want to talk about is the weight of this motorcycle. ये जो Royal Enfield की Meteor 350 है, it is on the heavier side. It has reduced 6 kgs in weight in the transition to becoming a Meteor from the Thunderbird, but it is still weighing over 190 kgs. That is a heavy motorcycle. But when you want to change directions, it is not at all a boring bike. It is not at all a slow bike. व्हील बेस भी इसका एक्सटेंड हो चुका है. ओवरऑल बाइक की स्टेबिलिटी काफ़ी अच्छी है. द ऑल न्यू इंजन एंड द ऑल न्यू चैसी कॉम्प्लीमेंट ईच अदर ब्रिलियंटली, एंड including the new rake for the steering geometry for the handlebar and the forks. The Meteor 350 is quick for your usual lane changes and even in cornerings. अगर आप इसका highway ride video देखते हो, you will notice it that I was very happy riding this bike even in the ghat section. Of course, it is not going to be a street fighter. This is not really a typical roadster motorcycle. तो इस सेगमेंट में जो दूसरे बाइक्स आपको मिल जाते हैं, say for example if you want to consider it with the Bajaj Dominar, it is not going to be as sharp, but then that is a whole different class of a motorcycle. अगर आप इसे Honda की Highness के साथ कंपेयर करोगे, I haven't ridden the Highness yet, but the Highness is on the lighter side, so maybe you will feel that that bike handles a little sharper than this bike. But that is also because इस बाइक में आप एक टिपिकल क्रूजर फॉर्मेट में बैठते हो. You have your feet forward, you are sitting laid back, you have absolutely no weight put on the handlebar, and you are just in a very relaxed position. So the rider's triangle and the way the bike handles accordingly in sync is quite acceptable, and I think Royal Enfield has made a huge leap forward in developing this motorcycle. Now I personally have owned the Royal Enfield Continental GT 535 when it was their flagship motorcycle. It was their most expensive motorcycle, but it was a piece of shit. I'm gonna tell you that honestly. It had so many problems, I sold it very soon. But this bike has impressed me, even though I had those negative thoughts about the brand. And anyone who is a naysayer and anyone who bashes Royal Enfield just by saying that, you know, those bikes are not refined, just hop on this Meteor 350 and it will change your opinion with how smooth it is. There is a balancer now in the engine which, you know, helps idle out vibrations. When you are riding the bike under 80 kilometers per hour, you will barely feel any vibrations, you will barely feel any buzz. You only feel that typical long stroke nature of the motor, but that's it. There is no vibration that is going to make you feel uncomfortable. अगर आप 80 के ऊपर चलाना चाहते हो, starting from 80 kilometers per hour, आपको थोड़ा बहुत बज़ जो है वो महसूस हो सकता है. And once you cross 100 kilometers per hour, there is some amount of stronger buzz. I will not call it uncomfortable vibration, but there is buzz and you cannot deny that fact. And the bike will touch 120 kilometers per hour when you have a very long straight road. It takes a long time to progress from 100 to 120, so that is something that you have to keep in mind in terms of its top speed abilities. But overall, inside the city, this Royal Enfield Meteor 350 super duper manageable. अभी किसने खरीदनी चाहिए ये मोटरसाइकिल? Who should buy this Meteor 350? Someone who just wants a motorcycle, irrespective of, you know, going out on weekend rides or riding it inside the city, but the primary objective is an easy to ride, comfortable motorcycle. This fits the bill just right. The seating posture, nice and relaxed. You have your feet forward, there is no stress on your arms at all. The engine super duper refined and the tractability is just so good कि आपको frequently gear changes भी नहीं करने पड़ते हैं. And because of that, this Meteor 350 becomes a very easy to ride motorcycle in your day-to-day ownership. So if you want a motorcycle to ride to your office daily, or if you want a motorcycle to just, you know, go for a casual weekend breakfast ride but not really ride fast, this bike will fit your bill just right. Also, if you are someone who is new to the Royal Enfield brand, I would say you look at this motorcycle because this is a lot more modern as per Royal Enfield standards. अगर आप Classic 350 और इसे back to back चलाते हो, and if you had no previous Royal Enfield experience, you will easily like this motor much more. If you are a purist, if you are someone who has loved the heritage of Royal Enfield and the nature of their old motors, maybe you will find that this is a whole different ball game and you might or might not like this engine. But this, as per new age standards, is acceptable and it gets a good thumbs up from my side. The next point is the gearbox. The 5-speed unit on this bike is super duper slick. I already told you that the sprocketing, the gearing, everything is tuned to offer you good comfort and just chug around city and just chug around on the highways as well. It is not meant to be ridden too fast and too hard all the time. So if it would have had a 6th gear, maybe you could have done 100 kilometers per hour as your cruising speed, 100 or 110 kilometers per hour as your cruising speed. As it is right now, अगर आप इसे हाईवे पे चला लेते हो, if your daily office commutes includes the highway, you can ride it at close to 80 kilometers per hour and the engine will be happy. But over 80, it is not so great. I will not say it is bad, but it is not so great. The next point for your city commutes is the suspension setup. अब सबसे पहले तो जब आप ये बाइक खरीदते हो, you have a lot of options from the accessories department. सस्पेंशन के लिए आपको आगे एक टेलीस्कोपिक फ्रंट फोक दिया गया है, एंड एट द बैक यू हैव अ 6 stage preload adjustable shock absorber, a dual shock absorber, one on either side. Now the suspension setting on default you might feel is slightly on the stiffer side. You do feel some amount of bumps if you carry too much speed, but that is, you know, going to benefit you when you are going out and riding this bike fast. तो अगर आप ट्विस्ट एंड टर्न्स में ये गाड़ी चलाते हो, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट स्लाइटली स्टिफर ट्यून द बाइक स्टेज नाइस एंड स्टेबल. इट इज़ अनलाइक एनी अदर रॉयल एनफील्ड एंड यू विल लाइक इट. बट सस्पेंशन सेटअप थोड़ा हार्ड है, ये आपको ज़रूर महसूस होगा. आप एक एक्सेसरी सीट भी खरीद सकते हो. यू कैन बाय द टूरिंग सीट फॉर दिस मीटियोर 350. इट इज़ नाइसली कार्व्ड आउट, तो आपको काफ़ी अच्छा सपोर्ट मिलेगा. योर बॉटम विल बी केप्ट इन प्लेस वेरी नाइसली इफ़ यू बाय दैट सीट. बट दैट सीट अगेन इज़ soft, but it is more of a medium firm seat and more towards the firmer side than the softer side. So that is also something that you have to keep in mind. तो लगभग 2 से 3 घंटे के बाद शायद आपको इस सैडल पे से उठने का मन कर सकता है, just to, you know, allow your butt to feel the air and feel a little more comfortable. But if you ask me how was my experience with this Royal Enfield Meteor 350, I have been pleasantly surprised. And I can say that I have been converted to the point that if I have to buy a new motorcycle, which I primarily want to ride inside the city, and I'm not going to care too much about high speed riding abilities, I might consider a Royal Enfield. And if this engine is a sign of things to come in the near future, this is very, very promising. And this is a good leap ahead. This is good progress from the brand. एक और चीज़ जो काफ़ी लोगों को पसंद आएगी वो है इस मोटरसाइकिल का एग्जॉस्ट नोट. तो जब आप ये बाइक चला रहे हो, राइट नाउ आई हैव द स्टॉक एग्जॉस्ट सिस्टम ऑन दिस बाइक, बट इट इज़ लाउड इनफ. जब मैं हेलमेट पहन रहा हूँ, व्हेन आई हैव अ फुल फेस हेलमेट, आई कैन स्टिल हियर द थंप. Now the exhaust profile, the sound profile is slightly different compared to the old Royal Enfields, but it is still relatable to Royal Enfields and not something completely different. So it is a good evolution in sound engineering as well, along with staying relevant to the BS6 emission norms. You can check it out right now. I am in typical city traffic and I have no problems managing this Meteor 350. These are bar end mirrors which are offered as an accessory. आपको conventional mirrors ही मिलने वाले हैं by default, but these accessory mirrors are also doing a decent job of giving me a good range of what is behind me, giving me a good view of what is approaching from behind. And I have had no problems using these mirrors. I have had no problems adjusting them as well on the fly. पूरी तरीके से आप इसे गोल भी घुमा सकते हो, and that is not something that you would like to do, but you can very easily adjust your viewing angle. The handlebar is also nicely positioned. You can adjust it if you want to move it a little upwards, a little further away from you. If your torso is on the, you know, longer side, if your arms are on the longer side, आप इसे थोड़ा extend भी कर सकते हो to get the ideal seating position, your ideal seating posture on your motorcycle. And then this Meteor 350 will feel custom built to your riding taste. So till next time, subscribe to the Shifting Gears channel. अगर आपके और कोई queries हैं about this motorcycle, do ask me. I will be more than happy to help you and, you know, help you make an informed buying decision. Not just about this Meteor 350, but if you have any other queries about any other motorcycle, any of its competition, I will be more than willing to help you out, guys. So then, goodbye, ride safe, always wear your helmets, always wear proper riding gear, and say no to overspeeding, and just try to enjoy the ride. Try to, you know, not wring the throttle all the time unnecessarily. See you.